Hello friends, welcome to JavaScript.info and I welcome all of you to my YouTube channel here. My name is Rizwan Khan and I'm a software developer. Here I'm going to do a quick mastery course over the JavaScript because why I'm doing this course is I want all of you to do mastery over the JavaScript. So I will put more videos on my YouTube channel based on JavaScript technologies such as AngularJS, React and Node.js. So if you do this course, this is a single video and it is going to be long, but this will help you to boost your JavaScript concept and you can do a lot of things with this core JavaScript. So this is all about core JavaScript. There may be chance I will add few ES6 syntax, and let me show you what I'm going to build in this application. This is a small application. Here we can add elements in the list and we can search the elements as well as we can remove the elements from the list. So here just add anything like Rizwan Khan, and Rizwan Khan is not a good boy. Let's add it, and you can see I just added this title, and you can see we can also do the search. Let me show you the search mechanism here. So it's working fine. Let's search Microsoft and let's search timeline. So it's working fine here, and we can also remove the elements from the list. So here, so these three functionality that will help you to understand the JavaScript properly. We will do all of those things whatever I can do. This is the way we can add the elements. So without wasting so much time, let's start our application development. So for here you can see this is the basic HTML CSS. Okay, so here you can see we have a basic HTML5 structure. Then we have a div element class of this container. So I am using this container class to style the elements. Then we have h1 to just the basic text JS quick mastery course. Then we have this div. Inside we have a form with the two input fields, like one input and another one is the text area. You can pause this video and you can write this basic HTML code. CSS also you can get from my website. So this is the basic CSS I added for the button tag and for the input tag, and like that result p tag, h1 tag. So this is a basic CSS, not super rocket science. It's just simple things here. Then we have another div after the form. After the adding form, we have a normal form that is the input for the search without a button. This is just a single input. And then we have another div which will contain the elements, like which will contain the list of items. So this is the commented code. Let me uncomment it, then it will be look like this. So here is the title, and then hey, my name is Rizwan Khan. So let me comment this once again because we are going to put these elements dynamically through the JavaScript. So refresh it and back to the code here, and then we have a script file that is completely blank. I will write everything from the scratch here in script. So let's start the code. First let's assume we have a few data, then okay, then we can also take the const or var or whatever you want. Then this is an array of objects. Then we have ID, one, title, software engineering. Then we have a body, basic anything whatever you want, like software engineering is an art of developing software, like this. And let's copy it just to do it multiple times without wasting time. Save it, change the ID because it is going to be unique all the time. So that will help in other functionality. Save it. So we just saved it data. and here we have our data. So this is a global one. The first function I'm going to write to display the list of items. For that I'm gonna do something like initialization, so I will call it init, and then here I'm going to use this data global variable, data.forEach. But before that we have to write some function. This data for each accepts anonymous function, and it requires the two elements. First one is the value, then second one is the index. Okay, and let's print it. Console.log and type the value. Now call this function init. Reload the page, open your browser console by pressing Ctrl+Shift+I, and you can see we printed the three objects. The first one is the ID, the second one is body, and then title. Like this we printed all of them. So this for each simply gets the object from the array and prints it using the console.log. So let me create one more global variable, that is var, and then results. Here I'm going to use some selector from the JavaScript document.query selector, and here in your index file we have this parent or container class results. So I'm going to store all the list in this result div tag. So here I will take this one, document.query selectors. Now it's selected. Okay, then I'm going to create a local variable inside this function var, or I can also say the let, but it's better to use var because the let scope is just within the curly braces only. So here just write var result HTML, and it's a blank variable. Okay, and remove this console, we don't require it. And again I'm going to use ES6 syntax to print the string. So this is just two backticks below of your escape keyword, or you can use the normal single quotes or double quotes or whatever you are comfortable like that. Backticks two times, it is just below of your escape keyword key, and then you can say, you can copy the index.html code from here, copy and paste over here. Okay, and then so we have this div elements. Here I'm going to replace this static title code with the variable like that. So this is a value. Instead of value, I'm considering it as a result. Let me write it as a result. Then I can access here result dot title. Again we have another variable dollar. Then I can say the result dot body. Then we have a element ID attribute, and I can say here dollar result dot ID. Okay, great. Save it, and then this is a plus, so it will loop it all the it will loop over this array and stored everything in this result HTML variable. And then I'm going to use this results global variable to present the elements over the browser. So results dot inner HTML equals to, here I will say the result HTML. That's it. So let's save it and see our output, it's working or not. Refresh, and you can see we have this title software engineering and same paragraph again and again, and this cross button is just button tag, which is not working right now, and this is looking like this because of my CSS code. And you can get the CSS code from my website webscript.info. So this initialization function is ready. Now the next thing I'm going to do, add the elements. So here we have a form, add form, and here we have a button. So we can use this id add item to add the elements in the list, as well as we can create a on click. We can write a attribute called on click, and then we can call a function add item, and this function will be inside the JavaScript here. So let's write a function here, add item. Let's console it, add, save, reload the page, and let me zoom this console. So here you can see the add is working fine. Whenever we are pressing, then we are getting that add, so it means our on click add function is working fine. Now we need to have this title and this body of the list items. So we need a title and body. For that we have a form and then input tag. The name is title, so I can use this name, as well as I can write the class, I can write the id to access this element. So we already have a name, and I'm going to use this name instead of writing some id and class. So let and write the title equals to document dot query selector. Then I will say it's like CSS selector. Put name equals to double quotes, and I will say the title, and then finally I can get the value by using the value property. Then let's repeat this element and type here body, and this is not an input, this is in a text area, and name is body, and I can use the value property to get the value. Now let's create a new element, new object, which we are going to insert inside the data array. So this is going to be an object, and this will contain id. So I will decide what will be the id, but before, let's write the title, and title we just created. Then we have a body. So for id we can use the random function like math dot random, and then it will give the random number, but there is a high chance where we can get the common id for the few elements. So I will go with the date function. That is probably, or 99% it will be unique for all the elements, and there is no worry about it because it's just a static application. In real-time scenario, we will always have a unique id from the database. So this is a date function and date object, and I'm using the get time method to get the time, and that will always be the unique. Now let's print it to see like how it is gonna be work. I will new item and then save it, reload the page, type the title, press 1, body of the text, anything, add, and you can see the console add. Then we have an object, and then we have id. You can see it's a unique timestamp, and most probably it will be always unique if you print it. And then we have a title as well as body. Let's add one more time, and you can see this time is the id is different. Again the id is different, so we are getting correctly. So we need to do two things in this add function. First thing is we need to add this item in our data array, as well as we need to display the HTML part of this item. So let's first add this in the data array. That is very easy. Just use the data, this is a global variable, and then use the push method, and then finally new item. So let's save it and reload your browser, and back to the console, type data, hit enter, and you can see right now we have 3 elements which we already added from the script. Now let's add one more. Okay, open the browser console. Let's click on this add, and you can see we just added something. And let's type once again data, and this time it is not 3, it is 4, because we added a new element, and this is here. ID, body and title, everything is available here. But we need to also display that item here in the browser. That is going to be interesting. So before pushing into the array, we need to add it into the HTML. For that, I'm going to create some dynamic element for using the document dot create element. So for that, just see back to your HTML file, and this is our list item, and this is wrapped by a div tag, and it has a class result. So let's add let's create a div element first. So we created the div element, and I can say the let div here, and then we can also type the our div element is ready. Now we need to add attribute, that is a class. So let's create the class attribute. Class name equals to document dot create attribute, and the attribute name is class. So our class attribute is ready. Then class name, assign a value. So if you back to your HTML, then you can see the class has a value result. We'll have to assign here result. That's it. Then we will say div dot set attribute node, set attribute node, and I will say the class name. Okay, so what it will does, it will take this our div element and add this class attribute to the div element, as well as assign a value result. So let's print it. If you are interested to know, then div, save it, back to the browser, console, clean it, reload it, and add something, anything, add. And if you see this, we just created a div element. You can see this div with the class result on the second line. Let's add one more attribute. Here if you see, like we are adding first is the class, the result we already added. Then we have EID, that is the unique ID for every element that I'm going to use for delete purpose, and you can use for any other purpose too. So we'll have to add that attribute too. For that, I'm going to just repeat this element, give it a name EID, and attribute will be EID. And let's repeat this one too, EID. Okay, and then instead of result, it will be ID, unique ID, this ID. Okay, so for that I can use new item itself, new item dot ID. So it will consider this value. Okay, and so we added our EID as well. Okay, and then I'm going to set this div dot set attribute node, and then EID. Okay, now let's save it, let's reload it, and let's do something. And you can see now this time we have class result as well as EID, which is exactly same as our object ID. Okay, then we are going to add in this div, if you back to the HTML and you see this, inside this div we have h1 tag, then we have para tag, and then we have button tag. So let's copy these three, back to the script, and this is our div, we already created it. So I'm just going to use div and inner HTML plus backticks semicolon, paste the data here. Okay, so here we have a title. Let's remove it, use the dollar symbol. This is the latest ES6 way to add the variables. We can also write it like this if you want, like single quotes, and then you can say the div h1 close with the h1 tag, close with h1 tag, and again ends with then plus symbol. Then I can say the new item dot title. Okay, then you can also add a div p tag, and then close the p tag, and again ends with single quotes, add the plus symbol, then new item dot body. But let me use the ES6 syntax, that's what makes me happy. Then right here this one, and here I can use the multiple lines very easily without any problem. Then use the and dollar symbol to assign to write the variable. So here just I'm going to write the title, or I can say the new item dot title, then add a body variable dollar, and I will say the new item dot body, and then we have a close button. Okay, and that's it. Save it. We have the inner HTML, and let me go down, and we have this global results variable where we are adding all the list. Then I'm going to append a new data inside this results itself. So before pushing, let's use the results variable dot append child and use the div tag. Okay, so this will append this div element to our child, to the existing results container. Save all, reload the page, and add a new element. This one is not a good software developer, whatever. Let's create down it, add, and you can see we have new added element. It's very easy, right? I think so, it's easy. We just need to have few create elements, create attribute, and then that's it. Set the attribute. Okay, not very long. It's just first step is to create the element, then second step is to create the attribute, third step is to set the attribute, and then finally attach few more HTML tags using the inner HTML. That's it. In jQuery it's very easy, just we just need to use append function, and then we are able to add it simply. But it's all about JavaScript that will be helpful for our React.js, Angular, and other applications. Save it, and back to the HTML, and here we are able to add the elements in the list. Now I'm going to work on this remove elements. If someone click on this close button, then they may be able to remove the element from the list. And one more thing, here you can use, instead of on click, you can simply use the ID and event listeners of JavaScript. So this is, copy this ID, add item, back to the script, and here instead of using function add item, okay, let the function add item here and say document dot query selector, and it's a hashtag add item. So we selected the item. Now let's add an event to this ID or to this button. How to add that? Just by using add event listener. So add event listener, that's it. Listener will be a click listener, and then finally we need to use the function add. We need to call this, we need to pass this function, not called. It's just the way to pass a function to the listener. Then it will be work same like that. You don't need to use on click function over the button if you use event listeners. Save all, reload the page, and let's see it's working or not. Add, and you can see it's working the same, right? We don't need to use on click. Now back to the remove part. So here we have a button, and we are not adding any on click or anything else here. So here I'm going here, and you can add an on click function here, and here we can add using onClick is useful instead of event listener. I will tell you the reason why. Just add or remove item, and here we need to pass a instance of the current item. So by using this keyword we can pass the instance of this button, save it. Now write the function, remove item. We are passing this current element, do the console.log and print the element, save it, reload the page, Control Shift I, and open the browser console and click over this close button, and you can see we just logged our current clicked button. Okay, so this is cool. And then we have element dot parent element. Here we can get the parent element. If you console it, inspect it, then you can see this is a element, this is a button, and parent is just this current div element, and I just want to select this one. So I will say the parent element, and then I will say the var item. So we have our item in this var element, and I can simply say the item dot remove. So it will remove the current clicked element. Save all and reload the page. Back to the console. Just click over this, and it's working. Yeah, it's working. We just removed all the elements. Here, add one more. Click, and you can see removed, and it's not working. See, we just added something, okay, and it's not working because the reason is there is no remove item function. If you see here, this button is does not contain any remove item function. It's because we are adding here, and we need to mention here too. It's a onClick function equals to remove item, pass this keyword. Now save it, reload the page, add a new item, this one, and add. So see, we added. Now we are able to remove it here. And rest of them is working same as it is. So we are able to add, we are able to remove, and here back to the HTML file. Now let's start working on search results. So here also we can use the event listeners, add search results, copy this, back to the script, document dot query selector, and use the ID search results dot add event listener, that's a click listener, and here you can call an anonymous function, or also you can write the function and you can call based on click. So this function will be called when someone do something, right? And this is not a click function because this is a search box. Okay, so this is a search box, and we are not going to click over it, we are going to type something. For that, instead of click, we can say key up. Okay, then log the data, console.log key up, save. Now reload it, the browser console back, and type something. So you can see the number is increasing, so all the time key up function is calling whenever we are typing something. So it's working fine. Let's get the keyword. Let keyword. If you have doubts, anything, you can ask in the comment section. I'm doing this video in a faster way, so you may have the doubts like why I'm using let, why not var, both are fine in this video. Whatever you will use, where or let, it will work, but both has different scopes, and maybe in future videos I will tell you what are the scopes and what are the things why I'm using let. But right now if you use var, it is still fine, no problem. Keyword document dot query selector, then I have an input. Name of that input is search. Okay, make sure we have name is search, copy it, paste over here, get the value. Now we have the value, console.log and print the keyword, reload the page, try something new. So it's working fine, and let's write the search function. So let's write it. Get the keyword, and we have a data. I'm going to loop over my existing data for each. Use a function, it accepts a function, then we have a value, the next one is the index, and so basically it's the object and at what index this object is present. So this is an index, and here I will say if. So if you're interested, you can write here result, and then here result dot, I'm going to search title only. If you want, you can also add the body by using OR operator. So result dot title may be lowercase letter, uppercase letter. So I will be make sure to convert it into the lowercase letter to locale. This is JavaScript function to convert into the lowercase. So now title will be in lowercase, then I will use the index of function to match it. Then we have a keyword, and again I will convert the keyword into the lowercase to locale lowercase, and now it will check. So if it is not equal to -1 means it matched, or if it is other than -1 then it is not matched. So if it is matched, then I will store. So again create a local variable, result HTML. Okay, get this data result HTML, copy, paste here, equal, and just copy the previous this code. Just copy this, copy, and come here, paste over here, and this will be exactly same like that. No change, nothing. This result HTML is same. Then we have a global variable called results. So store this inner HTML equals to result HTML. Save it. Save all. Back to the web page. Reloaded. Now let's try to search. Here we have all the same data. Just remove all of them and write something. Add, write one more, Adnan, okay, and one more, Imran. Okay, now let's search something. Yeah, it's working. Okay, now let's search software. The problem is I just removed the software, right? But it is still displaying if I am typing software. It's because this element, this item exists in the array. It is not removed from the array, right? So we have to remove it from the array too, not just visually. If you see the remove item function, so here we are just removing the element from the HTML, not from the array. That's why whenever you search, then it will always get the data from the array. I mean to say we'll have to remove it from the array too. So for that, again I'm going to use the for each function. A for each, then function, then result, comma index. So here I'll have to get the ID. So this is an item, and item dot get, attribute, get attribute is EID. Now you will get the advantage of EID. Why I have written that EID, where EID, okay, now we have EID. If EID means the current element what we have just removed, what we are just trying to remove, that element's ID equal to result.id. If matched with any one of them, then just remove that from the existing array list. So we will use the splice function. Here is splice. We know the current index, what index we are going to remove, and then 1, so it will remove the one element from of that particular. Save all and refresh here. So if you remove the first see that data, so it's now it has 3 elements, remove all 3. Now again type the data here, and you can see we don't have. Something wrong. Okay, so I don't know, something wrong. Let's do it. So we removed all of them. Let's remove all of them. It's because of DevTools. It's my Redux DevTools creating. This is Opera browser, and let me check here, and it will work fine. That's some problem with Redux and some React.js tools. So let's see here data, and if you hit enter, then you'll see the 3 elements. Right now let's remove them from the browser, from the page, and let's print it data. Then again we have the 3 elements, so it's not removed from the array. Let's see how the problem is, what I have done wrong. So here we have an EID. Let's console the EID. EID, save it. Now reload the page and let's close it. Here we are getting EID perfectly, right? So EID is 3, and then we have EID 2. So EID, and then we have a result.id. If both are matched with each other, then we'll take the data.splice index and 1. Save all, reload the browser, remove one item, still 3. So let me check data.splice. It's 2 element, so it's working fine. Something wrong. Let me use double quotes instead of the same triple quotes. Reload the page and again see the data. Okay, we have the 3 elements. Now remove one of them, 2 of them. Now again print the data, and here we have only 1 element, so that's a problem of equality, right? So it's working fine. Now we have only 1 element. Okay, once again try data, 3 elements, remove 1. Now try data, and now we have 2 elements, so it's working fine. We remove from the HTML as well as we remove from the data array. Here we go, and so now we can search. Our search functionality will also work fine. Let's add something to the response. Okay, add. So we added a new element, remove the software. We have this, now let's try to search software, and see, software is not coming because it's removed from the array list also. But if you type something else, then it will come. Let's search, run. This one, it's cool. So everything is working fine here. The last thing, or the few things are remaining. Search is working, remove is working. Is there anything left? What we have, we added. So here we can add the data, spawn on, add. So here we are able to add the data as well as. Now let's try to search something. So we got all the titles which has the keyword Khan. Okay, so it's working fine. Let's do more organize your code. So this part is going to be repeat all the time, right? For that I'm going to create a function, create result. And copy this string, cut it basically from here, return this one, and give it a parameter result. So this is nothing but an object. Call here, create result, and pass the result simply. That's it. Also we can do here too. Create result, pass the result. That's it. So it will work same like that. So this is all about JavaScript. We can add the element, we can use the event listeners, and here we use the event listener, we pass the add item function. Whenever someone click over the add item, then it will call this add item function. Then we also use this removed, and we also created this search functionality. Now your task, your homework is, I didn't use the event listener for the remove item. I used on click event over this close button. You can get this HTML and skeleton from my website www.webscript.info, and your homework is to create an event listener for this remove item. And this is going to be tricky. This is not the same like I did here. I just added this add event listener and it is working fine, but this is not going to be the same. This is tricky, and I can give you the best of luck. Try it and let me know in the comment section you have done it or not. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as well as share this video with your friends. And if you want more JavaScript based framework related or the library related videos like AngularJS, React.js, or the backend technologies such as Node.js, don't forget to like this video and don't forget to subscribe this YouTube channel. Thanks.